plus 1, I will get back 4. And this is a sign that JavaScript is understanding our input, processing that input, and letting us know what happened. So in this case, we just give in as an input 3 and we got 3 back. So it evaluated to 3. But then JavaScript evaluated 3 plus 1, understood that we want to add these two numbers, and gave us the result, which was 4. And there are many other operations we can do. So for example, we can subtract or we can multiply. Every time JavaScript will take this input, evaluate the expression that we gave, and give an answer to that. Now, these are all numbers. Let me clear the console, which can be done from here. And let's next have a look at strings. So if I type in hello, type of 2 plus 2 is a bit different because first it will be evaluated what the type of 2 is, and that is a number, and then a 2 will be added. So if I want to check what's the type of 2 plus 2 of this expression, I need to put them between brackets. And in this case, this will evaluate a number. Let's get back to strings. How about if I have two strings? This is a string, and then I'm gonna use the plus sign and add a new string. Let's see how this works. You will see here that JavaScript combined the two because then the expression will be valid, and you will see here that the backslash you introduced previously isn't in the string itself. Another option is to use double quotes in this case. this is still valid. Or in more modern JavaScript versions, you can just use a backtick. And this is even a more powerful way of doing things. Now, how about this? Why if I say 4 plus 4? The first one is a number. But the output of this operation here is not a number. But not a number itself, it's still part of the number. And if you don't believe me, let's do the following. Type of not a number is actually a number. So it belongs to the number data type. Now, let's go further and discuss booleans. Booleans are a way of representing in almost any programming language if an expression or a specific value is true or false. There are no other possibilities in booleans. It either is true or it's false. And the way you write that in JavaScript is just something like that, true. And this will output true, or false. And this will output false. Most likely booleans will be helpful if you write some expressions with them. And one of them is, for example, to check if, for example, 6 is greater than 5. And the output of this operation will be a boolean because you're like asking a question, is 6 greater than 5? And the answer can only be yes or no. And the output in this case is true because 6 is greater than 5. And if you do it the other way around, the output will be false. We can also say something like 5 greater or equal than 4. And that will be true. Make sure you do not mix them. You cannot say equal. This has a totally different meaning and it will not work. So this will give us true. And 5 greater or equal than 5 will be true as well. But what about if I want to check if 5 equals 5? And I will normally write it like 5 equals 5. And in this case, we'll get another error because, again, this is not a valid JavaScript syntax. And you'll see a bit later in other lectures why this is the case. But for now, just accept that if you want to check if two values are equal, you cannot do it by this way. And in JavaScript, we use 3 equal signs to check for quality. And in this case, 5 equals 5. And for that reason, it is true. The same goes for strings. So if you want to check if two strings are equal, for example, foo, foo equals foo, but foo doesn't equal bar. And if you want to reverse this to say that foo doesn't equal bar, we're just going to replace one equal sign with this, and it will say foo doesn't equal bar.